Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It has been another very explosive day with AMC stock. We were up as much as 15% at one point, currently up about 7%, give or take, at the time of recording this video, and we have been pretty much around that level since we got deeper into trading today. Nonetheless, still a very positive day relative to what the overall markets are doing. Why is AMC performing so well? Well, I'll let you guys know here in this video, as well as the extreme levels of option activity that are happening on the stock. We will give you guys that information as well, but we also have economic data that will come out tomorrow, and you do have major earnings that will be reporting tomorrow in pre-market that could also move around the markets very violently, guys. So let's get straight into this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already. And first things first, let's talk about the economic data, and then let's talk about what is going on with AMC. So economic data wise, for tomorrow, it's obviously going to be Tuesday. You have PPI month over month for October at 9:30 in the morning. This is the producer side of inflation. It doesn't tend to be a huge deal for the markets, but if it does come down more than expected as well, which it actually might, due to some of the freight and transportation costs going down, as well as even fuel costs going down over the last month slightly, it could contribute to a lower PPI, and that could translate into a pretty optimistic market tomorrow, but obviously no guarantees with that. And then you do have Fed S-bar testimony at what time is that? 11 o'clock in the morning, and Fed Cook that speaks at 10 o'clock in the morning as well. So that's going to really be all for tomorrow. You might have a couple bond auctions, a lot of the shorter term bonds, and that could also move the markets in a big way, but not too much that I am seeing as of right here. Now, more importantly, what's going to be happening tomorrow is earnings. So you're going to get Walmart in pre-market. You're going to get the Home Depot, Krispy Kreme, Energizer, Valvoline, and those are really the larger names here. But obviously, if I have to point it out, Walmart and Home Depot, those are really the ones that the markets care about. The other ones, the markets don't really care about. And Walmart, because it's really giving you a gauge of the consumer, and they're probably going to let us know how they're expecting the holiday season to go. And most of the shopping and the overall GDP and consumer spending happens obviously during the holiday shopping season. So if Walmart does not see great things ahead, well, that's going to be a big problem. The Home Depot, that's important for the real estate sector, because by far more important than the stock market, more important than virtually everything else, is the real estate market. And Home Depot will give us a good gauge on if people are still working on their houses, you know, and just how the consumer feels overall in that sector of the economy, which that will be important, and it will move around the markets. Now, more specifically to what is actually happening today, let's go ahead and take a look at the dollar, and the dollar is up 0.37% here today. This is the first day it's been positive since the CPI report came out. That Thursday, the dollar dropped 2.29%. On Friday, the dollar dropped 1.44%, and that's where you got a lot of that bullish rally. The dollar was up a lot more earlier in the trading day today, as you can see from the top wick of this candle and the red bar here, but it's still up, and you know, that's not a good thing for the markets. Still, it's not like going up to the same degree that it was before. You've overall shifted into a downtrend, in my personal opinion. So if that can keep going down, that's going to be a very positive thing. And TLT, the 20-year treasury, is down 0.5% today, which is very negative as well. Still, overall, not a huge deal, but in the grand scope of things, when TLT goes down at all and has a red day at all, that means bond yields are going up, and investors are not going to like that, or I should say the trading algorithms are not going to like that, and that is a big reason why the markets are down today, the dollar as well as TLT. You could also say that the midterm elections are not helping too much due to the fact that Democrats are going to keep control of the Senate, or majority control, I should say, and potentially be able to pass some things, that might not be so good for inflation in this next upcoming year. Kind of how the markets are thinking. I don't think that's a huge deal on the day, but it's definitely weighing on the markets. Now, this article says Fed Vice Chair Brainerd says it may soon be appropriate to move to slower pace of rate hikes. Federal Reserve Vice Chair Lael Brainerd indicated Monday that the central bank could soon slow the pace of its interest rate increases. Quote, "I think it will probably be appropriate soon to move to a slower pace of rate increases," she told Bloomberg News in a live interview. So obviously, that's a bullish thing for the markets, and that is partly why the markets started to claw back today. The Nasdaq was down over 1% at its lowest point. Now it is hardly in negative territory. Now let's switch gears and let's talk about AMC. If you guys are unaware right now what happened today with AMC and what they reported to us, let's give you guys a brief rundown. So more than 4.9 million people went to AMC theaters over this weekend. It's the fourth highest weekend for attendance in 2022. AMC's global admissions revenue this past weekend, Thursday through Sunday, was 125% ahead of the same time period in 2021 and 53% better than the same weekend in 2019. Now, this is the big part, and I reported to you guys at 9:40 in the morning this information, but this is really the thing that got everyone excited about AMC this morning. It says AMC sets a domestic record on Saturday for most food and beverage sales during a single day in the month of November in AMC's 102-year company history. So that's obviously going to fundamentally be a very positive thing. And also the second most important part of this is the overall number of this box office. So it says AMC's performance was driven primarily by the record-setting opening of Marvel's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which set a domestic box office record for films opening during the month of November, with reported weekend ticket sales of $180 million. It grossed some $330 million globally. So that's a big deal. Nobody was expecting it to come in this high. People were expecting $200 million, not $330 million. So a lot of things to be optimistic here, and it goes against the short thesis that hedge funds have had on AMC for a while now, that the stock is never coming back to life. And really, that's a very positive thing, because at this point in this bullish market dynamic, there's not a whole lot that's going to push AMC down, unless there's some drastic news that we don't know about that AMC comes out and tells us about, which I highly doubt that is going to happen. Now, on another note, what is really causing a lot of the bullish enthusiasm as far as the price action today, what's actually causing that is the options traders. So options traders have been keen on AMC this morning with 198,000 calls and 74,000 puts across the tape so far, 4 times the intraday average volume. The November 850 call is the most popular, with new positions opening there. So you're definitely seeing a lot of that option activity. If we look at the Stocko tracker data as well and refresh it, you're seeing a lot of calls going into the money, certainly here today, now sitting at 60,000 calls that are in the money and about 140,000 calls that are out of the money, expiring this Friday. If we break it down by the actual expirations here, you could see the 850 call has about 23,000 for volume and about 8,000 for open interest. The $8 call has 22,000 for open interest and about 27,000 for open interest. So right here alone, over the next, call it $2, from $8 to $10, you're gonna have 21,000 plus 9,000. You're gonna have like 40-some thousand contracts that could go into the money. More than that, even. You're gonna have almost 50,000 contracts that could go into the money in between $8 and $10, and that would be about 5 million shares that would have to be bought by the market makers. And that would be a very bullish event considering the volume in AMC, even though we're getting, 18% rally. Almost an 18% rally, 17.5% rally the day after that, a 7% rally here today, off of 40 million shares that are trading hands. That's not a lot of volume. That's not a lot of that FOMO. That's really people, I think, fundamentally buying the stock, and I think a lot of diehard traders that see the opportunity here that are also trying to take advantage of it. So if we get 5 million shares that have to be hedged, or even a couple million in a single day, that could explain why AMC could go up, 20-30% in a day throughout the rest of this week. Now, as far as the option activity over here on the ortex data and the positive order value, that is sitting at 19%, 21 orders totaling $1.09 million, so not looking so hot right there. If we take a look at the cost to borrow numbers, the cost to borrow max is sitting at 353.4%, up a little bit today. The cost to borrow average up a lot today, sitting at 172%, and the cost to borrow minimum at 6.56%, 20.5% short interest, and 106 million shares that are sold short. So from my perspective here, I would not want to be short on AMC if I were a hedge fund. So yes, indeed, I am looking at some long positions here today. I was hoping for a little bit more of a pullback so you could get them a little bit cheaper, but the options are still pretty cheap. So if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, get access to all of the trades that I do make in real time, link down below in the description of this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, you guys take care.